Everyone's talking about maxing, but the trend that will have the biggest impact on your career is skill maxing. So grab your cup of tea and let's talk about how to skill stack to future proof your career. From looks maxing to hobby maxing, the internet is obsessed with optimizing. But today I want to talk about the maxing trend that is going to have the biggest impact on your career. Because your personal brand isn't all about what you say about yourself and how you define yourself, but it's also about the value that you provide to the marketplace and the valuable combination of skills, experience, and expertise that evolves over time. So, what is skill maxing? I'm going to propose that skill maxing is the intentional process of building and combining skills that build your value, your adaptability, and your career opportunities. It's a deliberate and a strategic system to future proof your career. And the idea of really focusing on building your skills is something that I've talked about in a lot of my episodes, in particular, the concept of skills being your career currency. So if you haven't already, make sure you check out that episode as well. So next I want to talk about how skill maxing is inspired by skill stacking. Because while skill maxing might be a new word for it, skill stacking has been around for a while. This intentional process of building your skills. And this is something that I've spoken about on recent episodes as well, including my episode on the art of reinvention. It's something that I have been thinking about a lot lately, particularly as the world is so rapidly evolving and people's jobs are changing so much with the advent of AI and how much AI and other technology and other changes are affecting people's industries. And I do feel that this idea of skill stacking is something that not enough people are paying attention to. This was something that was first popularized by a cartoonist named Scott Adams, and it really focused on this idea of building rare and valuable skills, and that you didn't need to be world class at one particular thing. It was all about this unique combination that made you valuable in the marketplace. So if you were, for example, to focus on your top 25% of skills and using this to build your competitive edge in the marketplace, or building on those skills with complementary capabilities that are going to be valuable to the marketplace. And while individually a lot of these skills may seem like they are common, it's the combination, it's putting them together that makes them valuable. So, for example, imagine you are a marketer, and the skill stack that you might build for yourself would be to develop your skills in storytelling, in presenting, sales, copywriting, in web development, in graphic design, in social media, in video content creation, in finance, and in data analytics. Meanwhile, a human resource specialist might stack their skills in leadership, in public speaking, in safety, in people and culture, in employment law and compliance, in coaching and mentoring, and in conflict resolution. Meanwhile, someone who works in project management might stack their skills in negotiation, in risk management, in stakeholder engagement, in digital transformation, and in presenting. So therefore, your skill stack becomes a valuable part of your personal brand. It is the unique combination that is valuable to the marketplace. So where do you begin with knowing which skills to stack? That is where I would suggest that there are certain categories that are going to be valuable in any role. So consider stacking your skills in these areas. So for example, you might stack your technical skills. So this is your core expertise in whatever your field is. You might stack your commercial skills such as strategy, partnerships, growth, or sales. You might stack your people skills, things like leadership, coaching, and mentoring. You might include something related to digital literacy, such as software, social media, web development, digital transformation projects, for example. Or you might also include skills related to communication, so public speaking, writing, for example. You might also have skills related to community connection. So things like social media, blogging, podcasting, creating video content, presenting, event management, and networking. So, what do you do next? Let's talk about your Skillmaxxing guide. So, I would start with your core expertise. What am I most known for now, for example? And then think about something that is future focused value. So, what skills will be valuable in 5 years? What do you predict is going to happen in your industry or in your field? Then consider a rare combination. So, what skills are rare when combined? You can also consider the idea of compounding growth. So, if, for example, you think about what skills you predict are going to be valuable in 5 years, if you hadn't built on those skills now, what would you find yourself wishing that you started to build earlier? So, things like a social media presence, for example. Do you predict that that is going to be really important in the future of your industry? And with that in mind, is it better to begin on that now? So then focus on what to prioritize. So instead of trying to do everything, ask yourself what skill would make the biggest difference if I improved by 20%. And then think about your next steps. So what are the next steps that you can take in the next 3, 6, and 12 months to build those skills? Skillmaxxing isn't about trying to learn everything. It is about focusing on the right things, the things that are going to create that rare and valuable combination that you are looking for in your skill stack. Thanks so much. Subscribe for more on all things personal branding, and I'll see you on the next episode.